And I want to talk about how the great thing about fear is that it knows us. Like I think right now in my life of the things that when I think about them or the things that when I dream about doing, it brings me like apprehension and it brings me like fear. I haven't done them, you know. Sometimes fear, a lot of the times, fear will bring procrastination. And for me in my life, it's always been like, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow. 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 And it's like tomorrow, it might come. Sometimes it comes and I do a little bit of it. But like to go full force and full fledged into some things that like I know that I'm capable of, like a lot of the times I don't do it. And like for some people, looking at my life from the outside and they thinking, oh my God, like no way, like are you afraid of anything? Because, you travel the world and all these places where like, a lot of the times there's like I'm the only black person or the only person of like color here or the only person with tattoos, the only female traveling alone, uh, you know, and all this stuff. And it's just like, but all these things, they don't really have anything to do with other people. Me being a female has nothing to do with anyone. I had no control over that. Like, me living in a world where traveling alone is seen as taboo by a female. I don't have anything to do with that. Like I'm doing what's in my heart to do. I'm following my passions and my callings and my origins and what feels natural to me. Traveling alone now feels natural to me. Before I was traveling with my daughter for most of her life. From the age of 4, I started traveling with her. And because before I just felt like she was too young and I didn't have the drive in me to do it. And there are some things now that, like, I'm still traveling now. And, it's cold, so I'm like, I'm not with traveling like outdoors a lot because it's like really cold and I like to sleep outside. And I actually had to get rid of a lot of things that I was carrying because my bike just got too heavy and all this stuff. And like, I know that this is the perfect opportunity for me to start doing other stuff that I'm really, really passionate about. And not just that I'm passionate about, but that I know is like what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, and in the past, like I've thought about doing it, and every time I think about doing it, it's like um, I I'm gonna call them excuses now because that's what they are. But I always say to myself like, oh, I need like this really pristine, ideal environment to do it in because I have to have my mind right because everybody knows if you watch my online journal that I live with mental illnesses, multiple of them. So it's some things take time for me to do, yes, and this thing is one of them that I really want to do. I just don't want to do it like I know I, for lack of better terms, like should be doing it. And I keep having this like it's fear like I because I don't want to say it or label it as fear because I'm the type of person that doesn't like to live with fear in my life. I don't like to have anything tying me down because it's very triggering for me. I'm not going to get into it in this video, but I just don't like to feel caged in. And fear is something that cages me, cages anybody. Everybody deals with their cages differently. Everybody deals with like the things that are holding them back differently. And I know that I should be doing some things. And the thing that I learned about fear is that, like, it knows you. Like, it knows you so well. Like, for my entire life, in various stages, I've always been sad because I knew that, like, most people don't know me. Like, I have people in my life who, and when I say no, some people get, I don't know, offended, or some people get like confused by that term because they think, well, people know you have people in life. Just because you have people in your life doesn't mean they know you. I mean, this might be a terrible example for some people, but I think about serial killers. You have people who have known them for 25, 30 years, and they have no clue when the police come and when they finally found out who they really are. They like, we had no idea, like that, because you don't know people. Like, people don't like really know me, and that's no fault of theirs. Most of the time, I isolate myself away from people because it's just what I do. A lot of times I enjoy it, sometimes I don't. Um, but I refuse to be around people who are not for me. And I refuse to be around people who drain me of my life's energy. I refuse to be around negativity. So uh, the people in my life are in my life because I want them there, you know. And if you're not in my life, I don't want you there, like, or I don't need you there. And for me, that's been a big thing because a lot of times in my past, I've had no choice who was in my life, and I've had no control over, like, who has control over me. And now I get to choose, like, you know, I want this person in my life. Like the other day, last week, I talked to my sister who, our relationship has been like so tumultuous, but for many reasons that were beyond either of our control. But we talked for 6 hours the other day, just straight, and it was so natural and so easy, and just like I was so happy, and I'm still so happy about it because, like, we had our it's a fucked up relationship, in the past. And now we're like really just like we let things happen naturally. And I really love her for that. And I appreciate her for that because so many people, her lifestyle is totally different from mine. A lot of times, like when people's, when people's lifestyles are different from the people in their lives, they don't know how to handle it. Like they think the best thing they can do is try to control them some way. So, but that's not how you understand someone, is by controlling them. That's just fear. That's fear because you're afraid that, this person that's supposed to be the label that we put on people, that like just because someone is your family, you're supposed to know them. Like, I feel like the reason why my sister and I appreciate each other more is because they understand each other more now at this time in our lives, is because we don't put any labels or anything, like even in our conversation that we had for 6 hours, like we disagree on some things, but it's just like it wasn't an argument, it wasn't a fight, it was just like, okay, she told me her point of view, I told her my point of view, and at the end of the conversation we were still like, she still had her same point of view, I still had mine, and it's just like we laughed and then we just went on to the next topic. Like, it doesn't have to be a thing. Like, okay, she's still my sister. I still love her, and move on. Like, it's not even a move on. It's just like, okay, now I know how you think about that. Okay, like, And she knows how I feel about it. People put too much because it's fear, like I'm not even in that conversation. Like I didn't want to control her way of thinking. Like I just wanted her to see like how I was thinking, and I genuinely wanted to understand like how she was thinking because like in the past, like we, the both of us, and so many people, other people in life, are taught like if you don't understand something about someone, then the solution is to get them to come to your side because that's just a solution. Don't try to understand them. No one ever says it in those words, but that's what it is. Like, and that's all driven by fear. Like, what are you afraid of? They might be right. What are you afraid of? Like that uh, you will never agree. So what? What are you afraid of? That like you'll have to still love this person whose ideas you don't agree with. So what? They're not your ideas. They belong to the other person, or you don't have to like them. You don't have to. You don't have to agree with them or anything. And for so many years, I've been on the path to truly understanding and like absorbing what that means. You can love someone and not agree with them. That's the basis for fear. The opposite of that is the basis for fear. I hate you because I disagree with you. That's fear. And the thing about it that I'm learning now is that fear knows us. Fear is one of those emotions, attributes, powers, uh, facts of life that like it's a purveyor, it's a surveyor, it's a like the thing in the bushes that watches us all the time, and we kind of have an idea it's there, but we're not sure, you know. And it knows us, and it knows how to get to us from other people. It knows how to get to other people through us, and it's a destroyer. But I'm learning now that like, and that's how it's used most of the time in this world today, is that people use it to destroy things. People use it to fuel and blossom chaos. And hold on, I have to charge this. Battery is going out. I hope it's been recording because I have the headphones in. I'm not sure if it's been recording my voice. This would be so great if it wasn't, because that's just interesting. But whatever. So I'll just start here and just repeat what I said, just in case it was recorded. Um, Basically, fear knows us. Like fear knows who we are, and when you don't understand someone, like the first thing, it's very like self-conscious, like when we don't understand someone. It's so like, why don't I understand them? And if you're still trying to understand them after a while, you think, well, something must be wrong with them or me if I can't come to an understanding. Meanwhile, that other person might not understand either, or that other thing might not understand. For example, if I'm afraid to do something, right? Like I'm thinking of something in my life that there's fear about, right? And I know I'm really great at it. Like I know it. It's a very gut thing. It's very natural for me to do it. And uh, I'm just gonna say that it's been proven that I'm great at it. But I'm not gonna say whether by myself by this, not relevant. But I know that I'm great at it for many, many reasons. I know it. And the thing about it is that we're taught when you have a greatness in something,
that you shouldn't talk about it. And if you talk about it, that means you're arrogant and that means you're full of pride, right? That's what we're taught. But I think just like a lot of things in life, that's gotten misconstrued. If you're great at something and you know it, you discover that you're great at something, the first feeling shouldn't be fear and like this uncontrollable fear or this like fear that's fueled by hatred. Yes, we you should keep silent. I feel like I know I do. I keep silent about a lot of things in my life because that's just the person that I've grown into and evolved into. But fear is so intricate and embedded in the lives of almost everyone on this planet that if when you tell someone something, okay, fear is always sitting at the table. Fear is always invited. It's like the it invites itself to the cookout, you know? And other people might fear slash misunderstand what you great at or what you want to do, aka hopes, dreams, manifestations, whatever label you want to put on them. And so when you figure out you're great at something and then you go and you tell someone, well, they might translate it differently in their minds. Okay, their mind might translate it to, oh, this person has figured out what they're great at, so they're arrogant. Or this person has figured out what they're great at, so they're trying to tell me I'm not so great. Or this person has figured what they're great at. Uh, why are they here talking to me to belittle me? Uh, why are they telling me? Like, why don't they just keep themselves? Like, so many things just like automatically go through people's minds because that's what we're taught. Like, we're taught to fear the other. We're taught, and it expresses itself in so many different ways in life. Like, we're taught to fear a pit bull and a woman of color walking down the street. I know because it happened when I was walking down the street. We're taught to fear a female traveling alone, and she looks not so rich because then she must be a bad person because the only way she could be possibly getting her money is through like illegal means. So we're taught to fear that. If you live in a place where people you see most of the people have the same skin color and you see someone of a different skin color, we're taught to fear that any way you look different from someone else, tattoos, piercing. And I'm saying because all this stuff has been relevant in my life, you're taught to fear that. If someone has a lifestyle that differs to yours or that is unfamiliar to you, we're taught to fear it, label it, and then try to control it. Period. Understanding rarely comes into the equation. It's not taught to us. And because I feel like the way I very much feel that understanding is the opposite of fear. Not like, not love, not strength. Understanding is the opposite of fear. Understanding is it's not the cure, but kind of. I feel like understanding is the cure for fear because going back to my own life, like once I think about something that I feel fear towards or that I've procrastinated doing. Procrastination is just another form of fear. Like that's what it is. You really think about it, like procrastination, fear, understanding and misunderstanding, hatred, they're cousins. They're all like one form or the other. They all share the same some DNA strand. They're so similar in some ways. If you take fear and then you flip it, you can use it as a motivation. If you take fear and flip it again, it's a tool for procrastination. Like it's just it is because at the end of the day, fear tells us about ourselves. Fear tells us who we are. And a lot of the times that person, we don't want to see that person. We don't want to, for some reason or another. It doesn't have to be like a bad thing. Let's say fear told me not to run around the world. Okay. That doesn't mean that, okay, fear is because people, the way we're taught is that fear is like our like primitive alarm, like that it signals to us that something is wrong or that something, aware of something. And that's true. We should be aware of something, Um, but I found, as extreme as people think I am, I found in my observation of others, which I don't like to do as often anymore because I just don't want to be focused on other people that much. But sometimes you need to understand other people because you need to know how they're going to react when you pass by so you can kind of buffer yourself. But I found that most people are very extreme. They don't show it on the outside. People think I'm extreme because I have a face tattoo and piercings and I shave my head. That they think that's extremism. Okay, whatever. That's their label. Those are their labels, not mine. But I find people to be very extreme because more so in their thoughts and lifestyles because of fear. Like they, if someone doesn't do something, they label them the total opposite of them, like abnormal, crazy, uh, weird, like psychotic. Like they go to the total extreme of things. Meanwhile, they're the most extreme. Like if you believe in something, you don't know its origins. You're just believing in something because you were told to believe in it. Yeah. And we all know what I mean. Religion. If you have a set of beliefs, that's your set of beliefs, but they're yours. You came to the conclusion and you decided that there are things that you should believe in, not because somebody told you, but because that's the summation of your life, of your thoughts, of your findings out in life, not because somebody else told you. But we use religion. We use it to hate people. Another form of extremism, in my opinion. Hate is extreme. So is love. Love is extreme. I love you unconditionally. That's very extreme. How can you love somebody unconditionally? Like, okay, if you do, okay, people hate, people love unconditionally, people fear, people, those are all extremes, in my opinion. Um, anyway, I just know that fear is is multidimensional. Yeah. It's like anything else in life, it's on a spectrum. And using it in its extreme form of like hatred or like blind love or just as a warning that we shouldn't be doing something, it's been so far out of context and so far from its origins and so far from its natural state that it fear is the extreme now. You know what I mean? Like we're taught by one way or other, either overtly or subliminally, that whenever we get a fear signal, we should hate that thing, even in our own lives. If you want to go about a new job or go after something, oh no, the first thing that comes in our minds, if we really think about it, the first thing that comes in our minds are how we won't succeed at it or how we won't be good at it. The easiest thing to believe is something negative about yourself. Now, some people can eventually shake it off, but even in very severe cases of anxiety, that's it. It's the negative thoughts that permeate and that keep you up at night and keep me up at night and keep us all up at night because that's what we're told to focus on is the negative things, like you can't, you won't, you're not. They are, you're not. Like, and this comparing ourselves to others, this is another form of fear because it's like, well, if you're competing with somebody else, yeah, right, you're not really how focused are you on yourself? If I compare myself to someone else, am I really focused on myself? Am I really focused on what I should be doing? Like, let's say I'm in a competition, or a running competition, yeah, and I'm trying to do my, what if my best time is 26 seconds? Okay, so that's my best time. That's the absolute best I can do at this moment in time. So I'm a winner because I've done my best, period. But competition teaches us that if 25 is your neighbor's best time, then you've not done your best. Or you're a loser. You're not a winner, you're a loser. But you're not a loser because 26 was your best. Okay, so they ran 1 second faster. Good for them. Like, really great. They're doing their best, hopefully. Why does someone else's best have to be your best? But again, extremism takes competition can be healthy. Competition, like fear, can be a motivator. We don't use it that way in this world. We use it as another label, another way to shit on people, another way to isolate and separate. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the more I focus on myself and I isolate myself, the more I realize like how isolating people really are. People, most of the time in this day and age, people lie to themselves all the time. People say, "Oh, this is the most social the society has ever been." That's not true. This is the most information that's been put out in this amount of time. But people are not social. You think just because you post something and the whole world can see it, or you put something out for the whole world to see, that makes you social. It doesn't. It doesn't. You put something out there and it's possible that the whole world can see it. Okay, how does that make you social? Whatever I do in life, it's possible that the whole world can or cannot see it. I don't care if they see it or if they don't. I post things, yes, and I hope that it helps someone. But whether I get one view for, I've been posting online for like 15 years, still haven't reached 1,000 subscribers. Most people would have given up by now. I don't because I don't post for other people. I post for myself. Yeah, does it make me feel good when a video gets like, I have my highest video got like 60,000, I think 60,000 views. You know what that video was about? It was about me shaving my head. You know what I did? I took it down because after a while I realized that, you know what, and I was still getting views on it, but it came to a point where I realized, like, first of all, I didn't like how people were like coming to me and asking me questions and stuff like that because it's like, okay, yeah, it was for head shaving, and it's like, okay, I like to shave my head, but why do you keep it? Because people have fetishes. Again, another form of extremism. Now, you can have your kinks and your fetishes. That's not, it's okay. So you have your kinks, your fetishes, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Who cares? I mean, some of them like are self inflicting pain, but okay, that's what you're into. Go for it. As long as you're not unhealthy in the mind and body, do what you have to do, yeah. But it's like, I don't have a problem with people like having their, actually, I do. I have a problem with fetishes. I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with fetishes. Because I've learned through the ball community, okay? And that's not the reason why I started growing my hair. I just felt like it. So I did it one day and I just kept doing it. That when someone has a fetish, I'm going to speak on ball fetish. I can't speak on all the fetishes because I don't know them. But this too is relevant to this fear conversation because I was always taught to fear like the kinks and the fetishes and all this stuff. That's how I grew up. Yeah. And when everyone, the whole time I was bald, everybody thought I was in the fetish community. I wasn't. I wasn't. Still aren't. Still am not. But everybody thought that I was because I was bald. And why is that? The only way a female can be bald is if she's in the fetish community. Someone can't just be bald because they enjoy it. And I enjoy it, still do. Every time I see it, like there's this girl on Instagram, her name is Stevana, and she's like this like flexible queen. She's, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. I still see the beauty in being bald, and every now and then I think about reshaving my head, but I don't want to. Like I like my little mohawk, fro hawk, you know, chia pet style. I love it, and I just let myself do what feels natural to me. If it feels natural to have some hair, I have it. If it feels natural to shave it, I shave it. I don't. That's the only thing that really is my guide. But everybody thought, okay, oh my gosh, she's so extreme. Like, how can she be a woman and shave her head? That's so extreme. No, it's not. It's natural. If I feel like doing something, I do. I don't let other people control me. Those are your thoughts. You said that. In your mind, if you shaved your head, you would be extreme. That's not extreme for me. I know I'm trying to think of any hatred is extreme. If I say I hate someone, then that's extreme. And to me, now I'm in an unhealthy realm in my mind. So I don't want to hate anyone. And for me, that's it's struggle because I don't want to get into it in this video, but like that's part of my protection mechanism. Like if somebody does something to me I don't like, I feel very angry. It depends, but I get extremely enraged. Yeah, and the temptation is there for me to hate them, but I don't hate them. I don't want them in my life. I don't want to see them, and I want them to leave me alone. But I don't hate them because it's a time waster. But I had to learn that. I had to learn that being extreme in my mind, as much as people think I'm extreme either by my outward appearance or whatever, okay, I can't tell other people what to think, nor do I want to tell other people what to think. That too is a time waster, and I really don't have time for it. It's fear. If someone can, you can pass someone on the street, yeah, and you just because you've never seen them before or seen the way they're looking, then in your mind tells you that they are extreme. You don't think that's fear. I do. I think that if, and I check myself, if I walk past somebody in the street and I go, ooh, the first thing I do is I stop myself and I say something nice. And just to your, the other person doesn't know what I'm thinking. So it's not for them, it's for myself so that I don't have these extreme, hateful, fearful thoughts in my head. Because it's something about them that triggered something in me. That's what I mean when I say fear knows us. It is a signal. It is a signal. It is a warning. It's a warning that there's some hateful shit inside of us. There's hateful shit inside of everyone because that's just how it is, you know? It's so hot.